Greetings and welcome. I am Justavor, bringing you what I hope is constructive information on what the system of racism is and how it works, as well as what can be done to replace it with a system of justice. For more information about the purpose and goals of this channel, as well as some basic definitions of words and terms we use in reference to our work, I have included a link below to a video containing this information. Communication is a vital key to any relationship. While nonverbal communication takes up the majority of our communications, words play a very important part in how people communicate with one another. Words, whether they are spoken, written, or even simply thought in our own minds, can be used to express emotions, share knowledge and information, or shape our worldview. In the book, Breaking the Curse of Willie Lynch, Alvin Morrow writes, "As noticed by now, Willie Lynch and those who used similar methodologies to control the minds of enslaved Africans were clear in defining the new reality of their African slave. Comprehensions of the power to define, then redefine a new black reality by not only breaking old cycles, but to bring accurate insight to all intrigued by the magnetism of definitions and their subtle powers." The ancestor, Dr. Carter G. Woodson, founder of Negro History Week, which evolved into the current Black History Month, illustrated in his book, The Miseducation of the Negro, that when you control a man's thinking, you do not have to worry about his actions. As history demonstrates, words can be used as powerful weapons with profound generational effects. In the system of white supremacy, what effects have words and their definitions played in establishing, maintaining, and refining the system of racism? How have words been used to counter the system of racism in an effort to produce a system of justice? Taking a look at the English language reveals the underlying power of those who classify themselves as white to practice racism. Words synonymous with white are innocent, fortunate, happy, morally or spiritually pure, free from evil intent, Caucasian, or a person having a light complexion. Words synonymous with black are wicked, harmful, disgraceful, soiled, dark, evil, dark complexioned, Negro. Are the terms black and white, with their attachments to morality, accurate terms to use when describing groups of people? What could be the ultimate purpose of using such terms to describe moral characteristics of groups of people? On this channel, when we use the terms racism and white supremacy, we mean a global system of people who classify themselves as white and who are dedicated to the mistreatment and subjugation of all those they have classified as not white. The concepts behind the meanings of the previously mentioned terms black and white, which are considered to be opposites, are reinforced in society and can be seen in how power is wielded. For example, the system of white supremacy can be seen as a royalist caste system where those who classify themselves as white are at the top, having power over those whom they have classified as non-white, and people classified as black are on the complete opposite end of the power spectrum. By power, we mean the guaranteed ability to determine who is mistreated and dominated with impunity, and who is not. In the royalist caste system of white supremacy, racism, white people are at the top, having power. Non-white people are at the bottom, lacking power. Within the non-white group, black people are considered to be at the very bottom, to be treated as the complete opposite of white people. Melanin content has been a type of measuring tool to determine levels of mistreatment of non-white people. Patterns of behavior related to this idea can be seen around the globe, where pale equals successful and melanated equals failure. Could this be why, no matter how those who classify themselves as white have mistreated non-white people, especially those classified as black, white people have been able to be perceived as good and their victims are deemed as bad or even deserving of mistreatment? What we see is a reinforcement through the use of words, the idea that white equals good and black equals bad. This is why Gus T. Renegade, the host of the Context of White Supremacy, often cautions attempted counter-racists against the use of the term fair. The term fair is often equated with beauty, balance, justice, and righteousness, while at the same time is used as a synonym for being pale skin, paled hair, or white. In a system of white supremacy, racism, where non-white people are targeted and dominated by those who classify themselves as white, it would not be accurate to use the term fair as it subliminally equates being white to being justified. Therefore, one interested in being accurate with words should not use such terms. What other terms can you think of that reinforce the false notion that white is good and black is bad? The use of logic in regard to this phenomenon leads us to the conclusion that words such as white and black are not accurate when describing the moral character of groups of people. But when have white people cared about truth or logic that does not assist with maintaining the system of white supremacy? Unless one is less confused about what racism is and how it works, the result when words are not used accurately is confusion. Confusion often leads to deception, and deception often leads to confusion. The solution to clearing away confusion and avoiding deception is to use words accurately. Mr. Neely Fuller Jr. suggests becoming a master of words.
One thing you've got to become right from this room is a master of words. You don't let words master you. You don't let nobody push your button and get you all off the track. I don't care who it is. Because as long as there's just words being passed, you say, hey, this is my territory. As long as there's words, it's my territory. Now, if it gets physical, that's different. All right? But if it's just words, you don't let anybody use any words to rattle you. And that's really important because people get rattled in court and everything. You know, you look at Judge Mathis and all like that, Judge Judy. Sometimes people get rattled and whatnot. See? You know? And in court, they can rattle you. An excellent lawyer will do it. Really get you off track. You know, you can't think straight. When you can't think very well and you can't really get it together in your mind, what's the first thing you think about doing that you should do? Don't say nothing. And you do that on jobs too. You don't know exactly how to handle it. If things getting hot and whatnot, you go quiet. You be the first one to go quiet. Because later on, when they say, well then, okay, well when so-and-so said this, when Miss Sussman says this, and so-and-so and Miss Green said this, and Mr. Cartwright said this, then what did you say? I didn't say nothing.
Overspeaking or using buckets of words is often a tactic racist suspects will use to deceive and confuse their victims. Therefore, as Mr. Fuller has suggested, victims of racism should focus on being concise, exact, and to the point, thus minimizing confusion and opportunities for racist suspects to deceive. Logic suggests that when no word or term exists to accurately define what one is experiencing or wishes to express, it is okay to make up a new word or redefine currently used words for the sake of being accurate and clearing confusion. Rather than words being used as weapons for domination and control, words can also be used for liberation and freedom. There are many other suggestions mentioned in the code book. These are just a few steps towards ending white supremacy and producing a system of justice. Justice meaning balance between people, guaranteeing that no one is mistreated, and guaranteeing that the person who needs help the most gets the most constructive help. If you would like an even better understanding of the code and how it works, please visit producejustice.com to order the United Independent Compensatory Code System Concept by Mr. Neely Fuller Jr., as well as its word guide. There are many constructive suggestions for ending the system of white supremacy, and Mr. Fuller's codebook and its word guide act as guides to getting and keeping on code. To view a video of Mr. Fuller explaining the basics of the code, I have included a link in the description for the interview by Danny Queen when Mr. Fuller appeared on Color Me Poetry. If you feel this content is constructive and worth your time and energy, please subscribe and share to support the making of more content in the future. Much appreciation for all the Vors already subscribed. I am Justavor, and I am still learning. Thank you for watching. Until next time.
Let me say something that gets to the very crux of the matter, and this may be offensive for some to hear who are not on the side that we're on. White people, we have been the problem for 400 years.
Say that again.
Let me say it one more time for those of you who didn't hear me. White people, we have been the problem for 400 years.